Welcome back to Faye's Place, a podcast where dreamers have the liberty to dream. I'm your host, Phaedra, and I am so excited that we have this time to dream together. This month we have been celebrating Black Music Month because it is June. We started off talking about the legend, Berry Gordy, the Motown executive himself. And then we were speaking with Phaedra and we got a chance to chat it up with Dr. Bobby Jones. And today we're going to discuss the history of Black Music Month, tips for artists, as well as how we can all celebrate Black Music Month. Let's get into it. Black Music Month was spearheaded by legendary music producer Kenny Gamble, radio DJ Ed Wright, and media strategist Deanna Williams. And it was birthed through the grassroots efforts of the Black Music Association. Now, this was founded by Kenny Gamble, Leon Huff, and Deanna Williams, along with Ed Wright. The Black Music Association was inspired when Kenny Gamble went to Nashville and discovered that there was a country music association. He was like, okay, clock that. Let's do it for Black music. And rightfully so. Its mission was to protect, preserve, and perpetuate the businesses of Black music. They even had a tag that said Black music is green. And this is to prove that Black music is an economic powerhouse. Unfortunately, BMA is currently inactive. But on June 7, 1979, President Jimmy Carter declared that June was Black Music Month. However, he did not sign the presidential proclamation. After years of lobbying Congress and advocating, President Bill Clinton signed the presidential proclamation in 2000. So in other words, Black Music Month is nothing new. It's been here. It's always so funny when you hear comments like, don't get too political, as if politics is just one sector of something. No, it literally influences everything. And for this reason, that's why it's important to have Black Music Month so we can reiterate and appreciate and celebrate the history and continue to support the music of Black people. Because truthfully, it is a thread that connects every genre of music. So there have been a couple of things that I've been doing to help celebrate Black music this month. Number one, if you follow me on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram right now, you should stop this episode and do so. I'll wait. Thank you. And if you are following me, then you have seen that I've been posting prompts about Black music. For example, like, what's a summer anthem? What song needs to be included at a cookout? What songs you had no business singing? All of those great things. So tune in for the fun and make sure that you reply. I got a chance to listen to live music a little bit in the park, which was fun. I love documentaries. We have gone over this on this show. I love documentaries. I did see a little bit of the Earth, Wind & Fire documentary, as well as others, along with listening to interviews from my favorite artists. And I've been singing myself, because you know, I'm a singer. I'll be singing. The reason why I love interviews and documentaries is because you're so inspired. You realize, oh, I'm not the only one that's struggling with a dream. I'm not the only one trying to get a dream off the ground. It becomes so comforting, and it allows you to realize, like, okay, we're all in this together, and you find a community. Even though you probably don't see them, you don't know them personally, you could find community. And that's exactly what you need. It's that little pick-me-up that helps you keep going and saying, hey, I'm not going to give up on my dream, because if so-and-so could do it, so can I. So, you know, it was one of those days when you're like doubting everything that you have going on. And I was looking at this documentary, and it literally was talking about all the struggles that Black musicians had to face about getting on television and putting their music out and their music being stolen. And it hit me. Black people have to be resilient in every aspect of their life, whether it's it starts in their mindset. And once you conquer the mind, you have to bring it to fruition, We talk about pursuing dreams here on the podcast. I often refer to Lorraine Hansberry, A Raisin in the Sun, and Langston Hughes, What Happens to a Dream Deferred? That's also how we started off the rebrand of this podcast, talking about, are Black women allowed to dream? Dreaming is revolutionary because it requires you to, first of all, have the audacity to think that you can do something when there are so many statistics and so many odds against you saying that you can't. So that's number one. You have to see yourself doing something that is only in your mind. Number two, you have to hold on to it until it comes to fruition. It's so easy to give up. That's the easiest thing anyone can do. But it takes resilience. It takes an inner strength. It takes faith in God to say, if you gave me this dream, then you can fulfill the dream. And it takes surrender, honey. And in the midst of me feeling so frustrated about dreaming big, I had a reality check. While I'm watching these artists, I see that it was literally illegal for them to perform certain places, to do certain things, to be on television. Just to see a Black person on television was like world changing. And I don't think we understand the severity of that, like how far we've come, where I could turn on television and I'll see people that look like me. I could turn on my phone, look in social media and see people that look like me. Like there was a time that was not the case. But nevertheless, they persisted. And it was so comforting to me because I'm like, if they can literally persevere beyond the law and still cultivate joy in spite of, then I can also persevere and not give up on my dreams. There are multiple doubts that I have every day, multiple times a day. Like, Phaedra, you can't do this. But just when I feel like that, there is something that's like, you know what you can't do? Give up. That's what you can't do. You can achieve your dreams. You can't give up. I was listening to an artist who I greatly admire, Victoria Monét. I love her path to success. She has always been consistent. She never gives up on her dream. She pours into herself, and her brand is so strategic. Like, she spent years before she had a huge success as a solo artist. And everybody talks about her patience. Not only is she very demure and calm and sweet, but she is patient. She talked about how songwriting helped her with patience because it takes a long time for the money aspect to come around. You know, even if you write a song today, you may not send it to the artist, or the artist may not hear it until weeks or months. And then once they hear it, if they like it, the song may not come out on an album until years from now. So I love that she gave songwriting the credit for helping her develop patience. And that's a tidbit that every artist needs to have. This is not a sprint, it is a marathon. In a culture that prioritizes instant gratification, it's important to remember that good things take time. And although you may not be an overnight success, every step is contributing to your success. While she was writing songs for other artists, she was sharpening her own dance skills. She was investing into her own dream. When she went on tour opening up for other artists, every night she would test to say, okay, can I make these people love me even though they don't know who I am? She would try out different songs. And so you can see there was strategy behind her brand, which is why it seems like she's an overnight success, but this has been years in the making. She was the first artist that helped me realize the importance of branding and being strategic with your career. Because when her album came out, she would wear every variation of brown. Her hair was brown. It was associated so much with brown that when she sang, it sounded like the color brown. You know what I mean? Just warmth and sultry and silky. It just gave a good vibe. I love her. I think she's a female version of Bruno Mars, and I mean that in this respect of they make modern day old school music, like songs that you can groove to. Like, they have an old school 70s vibe, but it's with modern lyrics. And I'll say probably more explicit lyrics. Back in the day, R&B songs, you know, you had a little mystery in them lyrics. Today, everything's just out in the open. Okay. Another thing that I was excited to hear her say, something that I've been thinking about recently, was that the artists who are the most humble still have family members around. I've been thinking about that because when I think about some of the biggest stars and their controversy with their family and letting some of their family members go, was that the best career move? I'm not saying I have the answer. I'm just saying that's a question that I'm bringing up. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you think. And so I think this is another good tip that an artist can glean from. Keep your family close. They don't got to work with you, but you do need that inner circle of people who you can trust. She's also a mom, so I'm always interested in seeing how celebrities and entertainers balance work life along with family life. She talks about how she doesn't want to be that person that's like, oh, I gave everything up for my kid and end up regretting it, and the kid feels like their parent regrets them. And so I think as artists, we need to take into account of that it's not a one size fit all and you have to do what's best for you, because there are artists who take their kids with them. There are artists that's like, let your daddy handle it, let your mama handle it, let grandma handle it, right? So you just have to find your happy medium. The more successful you are, the more resources you have to provide the luxury of having a nanny or having people on the road with you. She talks about how when she moves away from her family, she doesn't have that close circle. And so you do kind of have to leave your child with quote unquote strangers by providing them a nanny and things of that nature. She also has a great co-parenting relationship with her child's father. So that's also a benefit to her career as well as a benefit to her child. So this is just another reminder that as artists, we need to take into account and take seriously the people who we have in our circle and who we build a life with. I'm so excited about her continued success. I was watching television and I see her song playing on a commercial and I feel like she's my own cousin. I'm like, yes! I know she said that she would love to work with Beyonce, and every so often I see her hanging out with Mama Tina. She's at sacred events, so I'm sure they're cooking up something and that project will happen. Personally, I would love to see a collaboration with Victoria Monét, Sierra, and Janet Jackson. Black music is rich, it's groovy, it's full of history, and I'm so excited that we have the month of June to celebrate it and all of its greatness. Most of all, it reminds us to keep pursuing our dreams. Let me know how you're celebrating this month in the comments. If you enjoyed this episode and what we're doing here on Faye's Place, please be sure to give us a great rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Tune in next Monday with another episode with you in mind. I love you all for listening. Hi friends, it's Phaedra, and you are listening to Faye's Place. Join us each week as we talk to industry insiders about their journey and what it takes to turn dreams into a reality. Whether you aspire to be in the entertainment field or just inspired by the hustle, count this as your backstage pass. Join us every Monday for a brand new episode. And also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Faye's Place.